right, good afternoon. First of all, many thanks having the opportunity to be here. I traveled yesterday almost 30 hours to get here from Finland. So my name is Atte Virtanen and I work in Finland for the Finnish research institute called VTT. And the role of this company, which is owned by Finnish state, is to support industry to generate sustainable growth. And what we do is that we try to identify challenges which are worth of solving. They need to be enough big. So we are an organization who wants to take a risk when we enter into technology development, and we want to bring companies into the collaboration to solve those together. Then we are established already for a while, so we are more than 80 years old organization. And if you look Finnish industry, we have been involved in many of the technologies which has generated sustainable growth for the Finland. And there is one big kind of similarity between Chile and Finland, and that's the forest industry. And that's also the angle how I'm conveying my story today to you. We are roughly 2,400 employees, made last year almost 300 million euros turnover. The research area which I'm leading is focusing on forest-based industry and has 170 scientists, chemists, engineers supporting to industry to renew itself. If we look pulp industry, and pulp industry is also strong in Chile, because in Chile you have Arauco and CMPC. Historically, the pulp mills were producing just pulp fibers and buying electricity from the grid. Now, pulp mills are producing sustainable electricity for the grid, and the future is that the pulp mills will produce not only just pulp fibers, but also many other new products. And those new products are going to substitute products which are today made by using fossil resources. Then if we look what is hot, hot are renewable fuels, biochemicals, bio-based graphite, which is an important raw material for batteries. Then textile fibers, sustainable textile fibers, and also utilizing biogenic CO2 to make new type of materials and chemicals. And one of the aims, if we look Finland, and that's also very similar for many other countries who are running pulp mills, is that what we want to do is to get more value out from the wood. Today the situation is so that an average pulp mill is having from wood to the product yield around 50%, and another 50% is burned to make energy. The aim is to increase from wood to the product conversion ratio significantly. What is driving this transformation, what we see in the market is, first of all, there is a strong competition who is capable to generate more value for the shareholders, but also to do more good for the society. So, and that's from my point of view, really positive change which has happened during the, I would say, last 10 years, that the companies are taking the sustainability in a very serious manner. And sustainability not only how much they generate emissions or waste, but really like how to make products which are doing good for the whole society. One of the things what we did together with industry and with universities in Finland and Sweden during the last year was that we established a new type of program where we brought together industry and universities and research institutes to work together, aiming to have fully dedicated scientists working towards having more yield from the forest-based industry, increasing the product yield from 50 to around 70%. So what we have established a program where we have now 30 full-time researchers, and the work is done by the industry. And these are the organizations who have so far joined the program, and the program is open, so the door is open also for the other organizations to join. And I'm really happy that we have from Chile so far Arauco who has joined this program. And there are various positive elements having Arauco part of this program. I think the importance of eucalyptus as a feedstock for the pulp and paper industry is getting even more important. And definitely Arauco is bringing that capability to this program and is able to guide and steer that our researchers are truly delivering the value for the industry. Then practical example how we can make positive effect. If we look today's situation that roughly half of the wood is burned to make energy, and when we burn the wood, we also generate CO2 emissions. If we are able to increase the from wood to the product ratio, then it means also that we burn less wood and we make less emissions. Here I have a simple graph where you can see that even a small change can make a really drastic effect. So if we look that we are as a kind of starting point around 50% product yield, and we make as an average 1.5 tons of CO2 per 1 ton of pulp, and if we move that to product yield around 60%, the emissions are reduced by 500 kilos CO2 per 1 ton of pulp. And then we need to bear in mind that these pulp mills nowadays, they are huge. Modern pulp mill, even in Chile, is making more than 1 million tons of pulp in a year. And if you multiply these numbers with 1 million ton output, then these are big impacts. So the thing is that if we want to make a positive impact into the society, the research community needs to work in a joint effort together with industry. We are not able to make any impact if we steer our results just by how many scientific articles we are publishing. We are not making any impact if we are steering ourselves how many invention disclosures or new patent applications we are making. The real impact happens when the industry is implementing the scientific results, and that requires that the industry is working together with the scientific community from the very early on. And of course, this means that also the scientific community needs to be open for the feedback, it needs to be open for guidance, it needs to be open to be challenged, but that's the thing. If we want to make an impact, it's a joint effort with scientific community together with industry. And when we are talking with our researchers, they truly want to make an impact. They truly want to make things so that they can say to their friends and their families that what I'm doing as a daily basis in lab is having a big impact. And that makes them proud. And that's also the reason why we are really proud that we are having these large corporations working together with us. Working in a silo delivers no impact. Then when we have asked from the large companies who are utilizing as a pulp as a raw material, for instance, making packaging materials, the feedback what we are getting from them is that also the consumer behavior is changing. It is getting more acceptable that when you go to buy something, that the box doesn't need to be pure white. It can be brown or brownish. This also means that we need to challenge what type of unit operations in the pulp are really needed. If it's not needed to have a pure white pulp or a brownish or a light brown pulp is good enough, then we can skip certain unit operations, we will generate less emissions, we will generate less emissions to the water, and we increase also the product yield. So basically, it's also important not to kind of stick in the mentality point of view what is needed today, but we also need to ask from ourselves how the consumer behavior is going to look in 10 years' time. When we start developing something new, the time to implement the scientific results is typically around 10 to 14 years. So we should not kind of restrict ourselves what is needed today. We need to look the future, and therefore foresight is very important instrument when looking what we should actually do. And we need to ask the right what-if questions from ourselves. Then the starting point when we look how to challenge the pulping is that normal pulp mill has a product yield of 47 to 52%, and we produce a lot of CO2. There is also 2 high-temperature processes, and we produce in the range of 5 to 20 cubic meters of wastewater per 1 ton of fiber. That's the starting point. Where we want to move is that we make these unit operations much more sustainable, and we can really, in a transparent manner, say that thanks to these scientific results, we are moving the needle and we are making these numbers much better. So we need to reduce and avoid the need to burn, which means that the operations needs to be much more energy efficient. We need to be, from mentally point of view, acceptable of evaluating new type of pulp grades, and we also need to look what are the opportunities to valorize the side streams. This is not going to be easy. There is a lot of technical risk, there is a market risk, and we should not think that we can make everything out from wood. We need to make the right choices. Whether the right choice is then to make transparent films out of cellulose, or raw materials for batteries, or utilizing cellulose to make, for instance, superabsorbents for baby diapers or adult diapers in future, instead of that they contain oil-based absorbents. Then, can pulping become emission-free? That's a good question. That remains to be answered. Where we can be really sure is that we can make it better, and we can deliver more value for the companies, and we can make better impact for the society. What then this requires? It requires that we steer very carefully that the scientific community is having a clear goal. The risk is that we spread the resources and we don't have a clear vision where we should go. So what we have done in Finland and Sweden, together with the scientific community which is working in this field, we have said that our main goal is to ensure that we get more value out from the wood, and we enable companies to make more sustainable growth. Then there can be many routes to generate more sustainable growth, and it can be so that the future factories are making multiple products, not just market pulp, or not just producing next to pulp mill some tissue or packaging, but it can be that there are factories who are making textile or composite, chemicals, or special ingredients like cellulose-based superabsorbent. Then what is really important is that when we do R&D, and I regard early stage research also R&D, that we consider all the time the three aspects. We need to be clear what is the product and what kind of specifications it needs to meet. Then we need to be clear what is the reference, what's the sustainability aspects of the reference. If the reference is made from oil, we need to understand how good is today's product and try to make wood-based even better. Then there is certain price acceptance, and we need to understand how the companies eventually can make a business with the new product. So although the researchers are making research, they need to start discussing early enough with the business and early enough with the people who are capable of making reliable LCA analysis. Because there is a moment that the company wants to be sure that can we make money and are we making good things for the society if we are going to produce this new product. So it's not only just developing something in terms of new process or product, it's also considering can we make a profitable business for someone and do we do good impact for the society. And that's the reason why we as an organization are helping companies, not just in Scandinavia, but globally, also in Chile. Many thanks.